she discovered that David was engaged to another woman. The betrayal shattered her. The wedding invitation circulating on social media confirmed everything. At 28, Amara Okeke thought she had everything figured out. She had left her hometown of Umuahia years ago with big dreams. She studied hard, built a career in Lagos, and believed that success would solve every problem. Then she met David, a charming entrepreneur who seemed perfect in every way. For 3 years, Amara poured her heart into the relationship. She supported David through financial struggles, celebrated his victories, and imagined a future together. Then, one ordinary afternoon, she discovered that David was engaged to another woman. The betrayal shattered her. The wedding invitation circulating on social media confirmed everything. Amara felt humiliated, broken, lost. Unable to bear the constant reminders in Lagos, she resigned from her job and returned to Umuahia, the town she had once been desperate to escape. Her plan was simple. Stay with her widowed mother. Figure out what to do next. And avoid anything that reminded her of love. But life rarely follows our plans. A week after arriving home, Amara attended a community fundraising event. There, standing near the entrance and helping arrange chairs, was a face she had not seen in 10 years. Peter. Her first love. The boy who once walked her home from secondary school. The boy who shared roasted corn with her beneath the old mango tree. The boy she had promised to marry one day. And the boy she left behind when she chased her dreams. At first, neither knew what to say. Time had changed them. Peter was no longer the skinny teenager she remembered. Now he owned a thriving construction company and had become one of the most respected young men in the community. Meanwhile, Amara was carrying wounds she wasn't ready to discuss. Their reunion was awkward. Polite. Careful. Yet something familiar remained beneath the surface. Over the following weeks, they crossed paths repeatedly. At the market. At church. At community meetings. Slowly, conversations replaced silence. Laughter replaced awkwardness. Memories resurfaced. Amara found herself remembering the version of herself she had forgotten, the hopeful girl who once believed happiness could be simple. But there was a problem. A serious one. Peter was engaged. His wedding was only 4 months away. The woman he was set to marry was Inazi, a kind and intelligent teacher beloved throughout the community. Unlike David, Peter was not a man who played games. He had made a commitment. And he intended to honor it. Amara understood this. She respected it. Yet every day she spent with him made it harder to ignore what still existed between them. Meanwhile, Peter faced his own struggle. Years ago, when Amara left for Lagos, she had broken his heart. For months, he waited for her calls, her visits, her return. But life moved on. Eventually, he convinced himself that she had forgotten him. Meeting her again reopened wounds he believed had healed. He still cared about Inazi. She was kind, dependable, everything a man could ask for. Yet being around Amara reminded him of feelings he thought were long gone. Feelings that refused to stay buried. As the wedding date approached, tension grew. The entire town anticipated the ceremony. Families exchanged gifts. Plans were finalized. Expectations increased. Then one evening, Peter made a discovery that changed everything. While helping his uncle organize old documents, he found a box containing letters. Letters written years earlier. Letters addressed to him. Every single one came from Amara. The letters revealed a truth he never knew. After moving to Lagos, Amara had written to him dozens of times. She had confessed her love, her loneliness, her regrets. She had begged him to stay in touch. But the letters never reached him. His uncle, believing long-distance relationships distracted young people from success, had intercepted them. For 10 years, Peter believed Amara abandoned him. For 10 years, Amara believed Peter ignored her. Both had been victims of someone else's decision. The revelation shook him. Everything he thought he knew about their past suddenly changed. When Amara learned the truth, she was devastated. Not because of what happened, but because of what might have been. A decade lost. A love story interrupted. A future stolen. Yet the discovery came too late. Or did it? Now Peter faced the most difficult choice of his life. Continue with a wedding built partly on a misunderstanding. Or risk disappointing everyone around him to pursue the woman he never truly stopped loving. As emotions intensified, the entire community became divided. Some believed commitments should never be broken. Others believed the person deserved to follow their heart. Umuahia herself noticed the growing distance. Unlike many people expected, she responded not with anger but with honesty. One evening she asked Peter a simple question. If there were no wedding plans, no family pressure, and no expectations, who would you choose? The silence that followed gave her the answer. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. What happens next could either heal old wounds or create new ones. Because second chances are rare. But they often come at a price. And sometimes the greatest act of love is having the courage to choose the life you truly want before it is too late. Umuahia already knew the answer before Peter spoke. The silence between them felt heavier than any words he could have said. For a long moment, neither moved. The evening breeze drifted through the open veranda of the school where Umuahia taught. Children's laughter echoed faintly from a distant football field. Finally, Umuahia smiled sadly. She's the one, isn't she? Chinedu lowered his head. I never meant for this to happen. Umuahia nodded. I know. His voice trembled. I care about you, Umuahia. But you love her. The truth settled between them. Painful. Undeniable. Peter closed his eyes. Yes. Umuahia looked away toward the setting sun. For months she had ignored the signs. The way his eyes searched every crowd whenever Amara appeared. The way his voice changed when he spoke about her. The way old memories seemed to breathe life into him. She had hoped it would pass. It hadn't. A tear rolled down her cheek, but she quickly wiped it away. I deserve someone who chooses me first. The words pierced Peter's heart. Because she was right. She deserved that. Everyone deserved that. A love built on certainty. Not comparison. Not obligation. Not guilt. The engagement ended the following week. The news spread across Umuahia faster than Harmattan fire. By noon, everyone was talking about it. At the market. At church. At roadside food stalls. Some blamed Peter. Others blamed Amara. Few blamed Umuahia. And many blamed life. Amara became the target of whispers. Women stopped talking when she approached. Neighbors stared. Children repeated rumors they barely understood. The town had already decided she was the villain. The woman who came back from Lagos and ruined the wedding. At first, Amara tried to ignore it. But eventually the weight became unbearable. One afternoon she sat alone beneath the old mango tree where she and Peter used to spend time as teenagers. The same tree that had witnessed their first awkward conversations. Their first arguments. Their first dreams. She stared at the dusty ground. What are we doing? She whispered. A familiar voice answered. We are trying to stop running. She looked up. Peter stood there. For several moments neither spoke. The years between them suddenly felt very small. Amara swallowed hard. Everyone hates me. Not everyone. It feels like everyone. He sat beside her. The silence was comfortable. The kind only old friends can share. Finally, Amara spoke again. Maybe this was a mistake. Peter looked at her. No. People are hurting because of us. They were hurting before us. She frowned. What does that mean? He picked up a fallen mango leaf. It means we spent 10 years living a lie because other people made choices for us. His gaze softened. I'm tired of living for everybody else. Amara stared at him. For the first time since returning home, she saw certainty in his eyes. Not confusion. Not nostalgia. Not regret. Certainty. And it frightened her. Because certainty demanded action. Meanwhile, Inazi faced her own battle. Many people pitied her. Others treated her as though she had failed. The sympathy annoyed her. Because despite her heartbreak, she knew something important. Love should never be forced. She returned to teaching. She focused on her students. She rebuilt her routines. And slowly, she began healing. One day, a colleague asked whether she hated Amara. Inazi laughed. Hate her for what? She took your fiancé. Inazi shook her head. No. The colleague looked confused. Inazi smiled. You can't steal a heart that was never yours. Those words would later spread throughout the town. And they changed many minds. Months passed. The gossip gradually faded. As gossip always does. People found new stories to discuss. New scandals. New weddings. New problems. Life continued. Amara eventually accepted a position at a local health center. The work wasn't glamorous. The pay wasn't impressive. But for the first time in years, she felt useful. Needed. At peace. Peter continued running his construction company. But now he spent less time chasing success and more time building a life. A real life. One evening, after a long day at the clinic, Amara walked home along a quiet road. The sky glowed orange. The air smelled of rain. She noticed a vehicle parked ahead. Beside it stood Peter, holding something behind his back. Amara laughed. What are you doing? You ask too many questions. I've always asked too many questions. Exactly. He stepped forward. Then revealed what he had hidden. A bundle of old letters. The letters she wrote 10 years earlier. The letters that never arrived. Amara's eyes widened. You kept them. I read every single one. Her throat tightened. Even now, the memories hurt. The hopes. The dreams. The young girl who had poured her heart onto paper. Peter held out the bundle. Those letters changed my life. Amara accepted them carefully. They changed mine too. He took a deep breath. Then smiled. You know, there was one thing missing. What? You never got a reply. Amara laughed softly. No. I didn't. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. Fresh. New. Addressed to her. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a single page. She began reading. By the time she reached the end, tears blurred her vision. She looked up. You're proposing with a letter? I thought it was appropriate. Amara laughed through tears. It took you 10 years. Actually 11. She shook her head. You're impossible. That's not an answer. He dropped to one knee. The road fell silent. The world seemed to pause. Amara Okeke, after 11 years, hundreds of mistakes, and one second chance neither of us expected. He smiled. Will you marry me? For a moment she couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Then she remembered the frightened girl who left Umuahia chasing a future. The woman who returned broken. The letters. The misunderstandings. The years lost. And the love that somehow survived all of it. Finally, she smiled. The biggest smile of her life. Yes. And this time, neither distance, pride, nor life would stand between them. Because some love stories are not meant to end after the first chapter. Sometimes they wait. Sometimes they wander. Sometimes they get lost. But when they find their way home again, they become something stronger than they were before. A second chance. And sometimes, a second chance is exactly what a heart needs.